how's it going? Thanks for watching and joining me today on this roof clean I'm doing today. It's quite an old cottage, quite old delicate tiles, and they're quite mossy. So yeah, I'm going to have to be really careful. I'm going to use my low pressure specialist setup so that I could be nice and uniform, nice and careful with the tiles. There's lots of these kind of dormer windows as well, so a few tricky angles. It's not too high, so I'm just going to use my scaffolding and yeah, my scaffold tower should be able to get around these different angles, and round the back especially. Even at the back it's slightly lower down actually and a bit more straightforward, but the moss is worse at the back. There's like a carpet of moss on some sections. So we'll see how that goes. And then the garage here is really mossy as well. So yeah, there's going to be quite a bit to do here. But it should be a good transformation. It should turn out really good. I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's all clean and tidy. So we'll see how it goes. So sometimes certain types of pressure washing can be really intense and really harsh. Sometimes you see people using a turbo nozzle, and yes, you can turn down the pressure, but even so, that pencil jet rotating round can get into all those little sort of nooks and crannies and be a bit intense really. So the tool I prefer to use is the flat surface cleaner, which uses fan jets instead. So there's two fan jets spinning round, nice and uniform in the way that they cover the surface, and it just spreads out the cleaning pressure or the cleaning power that you're using. It spreads it across a fan, and then there's two jets that are spinning round, so it's not quite as intense, but it's a really great way to clean the surface nice and gently. And that's what we're going to do. Remove that moss, and then we'll treat it afterwards with a chemical to try and help prevent that growth coming back. The chemical does that, and it lasts for about 2 years. So that's what we're going to do here. I hope you enjoy the transformation. this is looking amazing so far. It's turning out really good. It's come up really red, and you can now see the contrast with the next section and the difference it's made. So I'm cleaning it really gently. With any roof, especially when there's a lot of moss, the build-up of biofilm, that can cause deterioration to the roof tiles, the mortar, those kind of things through a natural course of time. Weathering and the build-up of moss holds the damp as well, so that can lead to damage, and often the moss is hiding that damage as well. So as we've cleaned it off, we have found a couple of kind of cracked tiles with bits that have fallen down. There are some areas where the mortar has just fallen away a little bit as well, so we'll let the customer know about those things. That's what we're trying to do really, is to remove that problem moss and help the customer maintain the roof better in the future with the chemical treatment, which will help to do that. But you can see the dramatic difference we're making to the property. I'm just washing down these tiles around these dormers as well to make them sort of tie in, make them all look all clean and nice as well. And yeah, we'll come round and we'll clear out the gutters. I'm being careful to make sure I use the tarpaulin to just protect the stones from all the dirt and moss that falls down, because if you get all the dirt on the stones, it then becomes virtually impossible to try and get the dirt up without disturbing the stones as well. So we're just protecting everything as we go, and yeah, we'll keep working our way around. So I've got this all done all the way along the front. There's a lower section on the end. I've just left that for now. Carried on round the back here. The ground kind of slopes here at the back, so the back section kind of seems a little bit lower. There's more moss here, so we're going to start to attack this. Even though it is a bit lower at the back, straight from the ground, it means you're using a longer pole, which can be more difficult to manage, and I prefer to get sort of up close to the surface I'm cleaning, so you can see if there's any issues, any breakages which you haven't been able to see from the ground. Then you can be more careful around those areas, anything like that really. So yeah, even kind of bungalows, I'll always use like a section of the scaffold like I am now, just to get myself up to gutter level. It's easier to work and you can see what you're doing a lot better. So that's what we're going to do, start working across the back here. really well so far. That carpet of moss all came off really well, and now you can see the contrast. But I've done all this section at the back, all the section along at the front. The tiles at this end of the property are slightly different to the ones at this end of the property. There's been an extension and things like that, some alterations, and it looks like a few tiles have been replaced here and there. There are some tiles at the top there that the frost has got into them. Yeah, so they're that different type of tile for some reason. They've just been eaten away by the frost. And there's some stubborn lichen. The moss was a little bit more stubborn on this side in certain places, but all this is going to get treated with the chemical now, so it's going to kill all that off. I don't want to increase the pressure any more than I already am. They're quite delicate tiles, so you just end up being too harsh on the tiles. So I like to be as gentle as I can, apply the chemical treatment, which is the long-term benefit as well, so helping the customer just to look after their property and the roof tiles in the best way, lengthen the life of the tiles even. So that's what we've done, and yeah, some fantastic dramatic results compared to what it looked like this morning. So really pleased with that so far. I've still got to clear out the gutters, so this will all be for tomorrow now. Yeah, pretty good. I think we've made pretty good time considering the size of the area we've cleaned, but pick up where we left off tomorrow. Okay, so here we go. I've just brought the scaffold in, just a small section of the scaffold, just to reach this little bit here on the end. There's a little section of flat roof up there, which I'm going to have to go up and do that little triangle that's up there. And yeah, then there's a little bit on the far side, on the other side of this as well. So if I get this done, get the garage done this morning, then I've got to clear out all the gutters, do a bit of cleaning up, and apply the chemical. So it should be good. So a bit frustrating, but yesterday got held up by the rain. By the afternoon it started raining, it just got heavier and heavier. I managed to finish all the cleaning work, and I got the gutters cleared out. I didn't film much of that because it started to rain quite a bit. And then I was packed up and I left around 2ish, just after 2. So it's a bit annoying because if it had been a dry day I could have got the chemical treatment done and then the whole thing would have been finished. Just means there's another trip out to the job today. Nice dry day today, the sun's out a bit as well, so we'll get the chemical treatment done. I mean, you see this a little bit where guys spray on chemical using their pressure washer, blast the chemical everywhere, could go over plants and surrounding areas, could end up running off into the guttering. So the way I apply the chemical is using the brush system, which means it's an enclosed spray system. So you spray it nice and carefully. It foams up nicely, the biocide that we use, so you don't get any runoff. You want to avoid runoff into the guttering, and you just want that chemical just to sit on the tiles. So that's what we're trying to achieve. If you are doing this and you're concerned about runoff into the guttering, you can disconnect the gutters, flush them through afterwards, and then connect everything back up. But that's how we do it. So we'll get this done. Shouldn't take too long, a couple of hours at the most, I should think. And I've got my PPE, chemical mask, all of that. Want to make sure stay nice and safe. There we go. It is all done. Look at that. It's turned out absolutely fantastic. Great transformation. It's looking great in the sun as well. So yeah, really pleased with that. The customer's not long moved into the property and wanted to get the roof cleaned first before they did some other works around the property as well. They want to do some stuff in the garden. So they're already planned for someone to come and look at different aspects of the roof where it just needs a little bit of attention. The flat roof section on the end, it's just a little puddle of water in there. There's a little lip where it's meant to go out into the gutter where it's supposed to drain away, but there's just a little lip before it goes over the drain. It just means a bit of puddle of water. I did go up there and wash it all down. There's a couple of places where there's some really stubborn lichen on the tiles in certain places here. So we're really conscious about just trying to be really careful and gentle with the tiles. But the chemical treatment afterwards will kill off any of that organic growth that's left behind. And so the roof will continue to improve in the future as time goes by. This situation as well, there's lots of trees here just overlooking the property and at this side, so I think that's already dumping the sort of debris on the roof, and that will also encourage the roof to stay damp for longer. The longer it stays damp, then that encourages the organic growth to come back, you know, the algae first and then the lichen and then the moss. So the chemical treatment should help lengthen the life of the tiles. It should help prevent that growth coming back for at least 2 years. So we always recommend the reapplication of that chemical every 2 to 3 years or so, depending on the situation, just to help maintain the roof in the long term in the future as well. And the garage, oh, what an incredible transformation on the garage. That was yes, really bad moss on there. So it's all turned out really good. Cleaned it all up, and the chemical treatment is going to help the customer look after the tiles onward in the future as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Check out the links in the description. There's more information about my training courses. There's the podcast as well, where we interview other people from the industry making the jump maybe into exterior cleaning, going self-employed, taking on roof cleaning, all of those kind of things. And if you would like a similar service done for your property, so if it's too far for me to come and help you, then we have trained contractors all over the UK. They're independent. I just make those recommendations as a result of the training, basically. So thanks for watching, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And I'd really appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up, helps out the channel as well, and maybe we'll see you on the next one. Take care, see you soon.